Dirty Dan. I don't know what you mean. I'm Dirty Dan.
It's absolutely amazing.
I'm Dirty Dan.
Whoa, Dirty Dan.
Between booties and breasts. Indeed. Hey.
Sobre os monges Tekken, eliminando os restos da Mishima Zaibatsu. 技と体はかつてなく磨かれておる。心が不安定な状態ゆえ、心技体の機構が取れておらんのだ。
そろそろ頃合いだな。
Where's he been? Let me see something, bro. Hey. What? A nigga Hachi back. Hey, yo. Yo, I ain't even gonna warn you. That shit hard. That shit hard. Autumn? Okay. I wonder who the next one they gonna drop.
Welcome back to another episode of Swamp Stories. For this episode, we cover a whole new region. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. You can also follow the Instagram page where you can request an episode. So let's get into it. Louisville, Kentucky. They told me it's pronounced Louisville, and I'm sure that's how they say it, but I can't just say it like that, so I'm gonna call it Louisville. Anyways, for those who don't know, Louisville is located in the mid-
What do y'all say, Louisville or Louisville? I'm not gonna hold you. I kind of say Louisville or I'll say, I ain't gonna lie, I say Louisville or you say Louisville. Yeah, I kind of say Louisville. I ain't gonna, or I say Louisville. I'm not even gonna hold you. I say Louisville. Cause I'm not fucking from there, bro. I've been to Kentucky once, but I don't know. I say Louisville. I ain't even gonna hold you. You say Louisville? Okay, yeah. I be bouncing back between the two, Breezy. I'll say Louisville or Louisville. Like a Louisville slugger type shit. That's like the only thing I've ever really heard, for real. Ain't gonna hold you. I just got there. What are you talking about? He said, oh, now you can say what's up. I want to say, shit, you the only one she said what's up to, nigga. What you mean? Yo, ahead of time, she ain't even say what's up to nobody else but your black ass. You talking about, she literally just came in and insulted me, but that's to be expected for me. But ain't nobody else get an intro but your black ass. I say Louisville. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm just weird then, because I say Louisville or Louisville. I ain't even gonna hold you. Don't make the face. Don't make the face, because that's dead ass what you did. That's dead ass what you did. Right or wrong. Yes, and don't be like, nigga, I said what's up to you. You was talking earlier before your nap. That don't count. You know when I wake up, it's a fresh new day. You know it's a fresh new day. All right.
Midwest or the South, depending on who you ask. People in the South will tell you that it's the Midwest, and people in the Midwest will tell you that it's the South. But either way, Louisville has always been a blue-collar city. Its biggest industry has always been factories and manufacturing, but it was never able
all you gotta do is live your life like it's golden.
Detroit, so Louisville never really grew to be that big.
That nigga said yes.
Population of 600,000 makes it by far Kentucky's biggest city, but big does not mean rich. The median income in Louisville is $29,000 a year. Yes, $29,000. That means that if you make $60,000 a year, you are twice as rich as the average person in Louisville. But that doesn't tell the whole story because the cost of living is very low as well. So in comparison, $29,000 in Louisville is equivalent to $60,000 in Los Angeles. And get ready for this one. $29,000 in Louisville is equivalent to $92,000 in San Francisco or Seattle. And all of this is because the average home value in Louisville is only $230,000. So in reality, Louisville is in better shape than you would think. But I know you guys didn't come here for all that.
Hold on, I did not come here for all that, but wait a fucking minute. How old is this video? It's about 2 years old. But hold on. I ain't come for all that, but ain't they racist though? Ain't everybody racist? I ain't even gonna hold you. But I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't really know shit about Kentucky except the Colonel came from. It gotta be racist. The Colonel came from there. But I was just saying everybody got a little racist in them. You know what I'm saying? I'm racist. I hate it. I hate everybody equally. You know what I'm saying? I just love women's. But I ain't worried about that. Am I tripping? What? Is her eyes like? No, that's me. It was the angle I was sitting at. I was like, her shit looked like it was like these. It was the angle I was like that. Like rednecks. If I can survive being in certain areas in Texas, I'm pretty sure I can survive out in Kentucky.
So let's get into the good stuff. Louisville essentially has 4 sides: the West End, the East End, the South End, and most importantly, Newburgh. Every side has a different
Newburgh? What about the North End? You just hold the north side, niggas? They're like, nah, nigga, you Newburgh. Okay.
Style and reputation. So let's start from the craziest to the quietest. First, let's talk about the West End. The West End is by far the craziest side of Louisville. In fact,
the West has always been kind of crazy. Because, like, on the west side of Baltimore, it's a little bit more. I mean, when I was there, it was a little crazier. It was just more crackheads and crazy shit going on the East. But, yeah.
The stats show that the vast majority of activities occur in the West. So essentially, the West End is like the East Oakland or Watts of Louisville. The West is known for 2 specific areas: Victory Park, which is also known as VPC, and Humler Street, which is known as H Block. And just know that if you say you're from the West End, you'll get a reaction like, ooh. Next, you have the East End, which is crazy as well, but it really depends on where. For example, you have the Highlands, which is wealthier, but it's not like it's Beverly Hills or something. This is where Jack Harlow.
See, you just gotta, I'm about to say, that's where Jack Harlow and them stay. You just gotta, you just gotta find the good within the bad. Cause you know what I'm saying? This whole world is fucking trash and booty meat if we're gonna be, if we're gonna be a thou wow with it. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta protect your own little space and, you know what I'm saying? Do your research on certain areas and where you're trying to go. And yeah, as long as you don't really invite that type of energy, you're going to be Gucci. Especially if you go into like a decent area and shit. Because you can live in a hood and not have to go through no hood shit for real. I've dead ass, you know what I'm saying? Like I was in a city and I ain't really had to go through too much, I mean, I did, but not really. Crunk, what it do, my boy? This is where I'm at right now. What up, y'all? Word. Hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? So you can contest to this shit, you feel me? You know about this. He said, what the fuck? Nigga, that's my hood, nigga. We looking at Crunk house right now. He said, hey, bro, why you looking at my house, nigga? This nigga living good, bro. You living good. He said Louisville, not the hood, though. Word. All right, bet. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can go to some places that's kind of bad, hood-ish, but you can still live in a good area in the quote-unquote hood. You feel me? I dead ass did. Even when I was moved out of the city and moved to the county, that's technically good. I mean, technically there was some rough areas, but shit, it was cool. It was cool for the most part. For the most part.
And many people that look like him as well, if you know what I mean. All I'm saying is that there's a lot of Starbucks locations on the East End, but it still earns its respect, but you just have to be specific. Next, you have the South End, which is represented by a rapper named 2K Baby. But the South End won't be discussed in this video because there isn't very much going on out there. But the South End is known for getting money, and just like anywhere, you have real and fake people. But this side of Louisville isn't really involved in the activities. And lastly, you have Newburgh, the most important part of the city right now. But it wasn't always this way. In fact, Newburgh is where people moved to get away from the East and West. So back in the day, if you said
So you stay in Newburgh, right, bro? Jesus, you stay in Newburgh, right? That's where everything be moving. That's where all the motion at. We be pulling up, hopping up in Newburgh, my boy. Doing drills and shit. Doing drills and spills and shit.
I'm from Newburgh, you would most likely get a chuckle from someone. But ever since a rapper named ESTG came along, everything changed for Newburgh. These days, saying I'm from Newburgh will get you a whole different reaction. You may be wondering how this happened, but don't worry, it will all make sense.
I knew it. I never going down there.
Let me run the intro.
I knew it. Yeah, that nigga close to Newburgh, or you at least in there. How did I know? Sensei told me he was close to the trenches.
Let's talk about the man of the hour, ESTG. But before he was ESTG, he was George Albert Stone III. George was born in the Clarksdale Projects, but his family relocated after they were torn down in the early 2000s. That's when he moved to Newburgh, but more specifically the 5500 block of Riata Drive. When he was growing up, Newburgh was known for its hustlers, but was always the quiet side of the city. And growing up, ESTG was a star football player. He attended an all-boys private school called St. Xavier. Every year, St. Xavier offers scholarships to low-income students. One of those students was Jeremiah Neal, who happened to be a star football player in Kentucky. His nickname is YOG Peso, and he was like a mentor for ESTG in high school. YOG Peso was the star senior, and ESTG was the star freshman. Why do I mention him, might you be wondering? Well, this is very important for the rest of the story. Trust me. But interestingly enough, ESTG didn't qualify for the scholarship, so his parents had to pay full tuition. And I'm not making that up because on his profile, ESTG wrote that his parents already had the burden of paying for his high school tuition, and he didn't want them to have to pay for his college tuition as well. So the 6'2", 210-pound linebacker worked extremely hard to become a 2-star recruit and received all kinds of letters of interest from many Division I programs. He ended up signing with Indiana State, but who really wants to be at Indiana State, you know? So after a year, he decided to go play for Sacramento City College, and that's where he became a star. He received offers from Fresno State, Idaho, New Mexico, and Memphis, but he ended up choosing Stephen F. Austin University in Texas. That's where he totaled 111 tackles, and that number would get him a chance at the NFL Combine. Sadly, he went undrafted. Now what's next? Football dreams are over, so what is George going to do with his life? Money, money, money. He was all about money in 2016. A few years back, when he was at Sacramento City College, he made some very important connections. I'm not gonna say what kind of connections, but you guys know what California is known for. He also made some connections in Texas when he was playing there as well. Again, I'm not gonna say what kind of connection, but you guys know what Texas is known for. So after football was over, he started working with the guys he met in California and Texas. And this is when he became a top-tier delivery driver. Cows on the right and left, doing the speed limit across every state you can imagine. ESTG really turned himself into a boss after many long days and nights on the road. But one day, he would get pulled over and everything would come crashing down. His family had no idea he was involved in this, and they were shocked. At this time, they still thought football was not over for him, but little did they know he had moved on even before it was over. The money he was seeing in California and Texas had him hooked, and honestly, I don't blame him. But after he went down, they first offered him 10 years. But thankfully, ESTG had a paid lawyer and he was able to bargain down to 5 months. But here's an important thing that no one talks about. ESTG was bailed out by Jeremiah Neal, also known as YOG Peso. Remember remember that YOG Peso was the star football player who had taken ESTG under his wing. Well, he would do the same thing again, except this time he would get him in the studio. They would record music together at the Quality Over Quantity Studios, and this became a common place where the West End and Newburgh came together. So on the West, you had YOG Peso, who's from Victory Park, along with H Block Duke. Then you had ESTG and his Newburgh crew.
Wait a minute.
They would essentially all become one group crew. They would essentially ESTG Block Duke. Then you had
Hey, Grump.
Peso, who's from Victory Park.
Ain't this shit cuz, bro, that was on stream?
Along with H.
Ain't this shit? Nah, oh yeah, he a little dark. I'm like, wait, ain't this your mans? Nah, I was like, bro, I swear this was your mans for a second, bro. I was like, wait a minute. Nah, niggas moving like that for real. Ain't this your mans, bro? I swear this was your mans. WOG, that explains a lot now, for real. I fucks with him more now. I was like, wait a minute, at first glance.
Block Duke. Then you had ESTG and his Newburgh crew. They would essentially all become one group together. In 2017 and 2018, EST would begin catching fire nationwide. His songs were touching 1 million views, and the West End, along with Newburgh, would be supporting him to the fullest. You can spot guys from H Block and Victory Park in many of his old music videos. But everything would come crashing down on a summer night, July 8th, 2019. It's just another typical night at the Quality Over Quantity studio. While ESTG is allegedly in the studio, an argument starts between his friends and the guys from the West End. It's unknown what would happen next, but everyone would step outside, and bam! Big O was loved by everyone in the West End neighborhood, so this loss would be a huge deal.
Damn, what they hit Big O
After
for?
it happened, the West End and Newburgh were instantly split. There were no apologies or attempts to make things right. This was the end of their relationship. And here is where things get tricky. The West End includes
SpongeBob
YOG
used to
Peso,
swear.
who was ESTG's childhood friend. He had bailed him out a couple years earlier and put money behind his career. So sadly, this incident made each of them rock with their respective neighborhood. This goes to show that sometimes the people around you can cause you to have to turn against people you love. There's no doubt that ESTG and YOG Peso still have love for each other, but they have to be rivals because of a bad situation.
That's
this
whack.
situation would only get worse. September 2019. ESTG drops his debut mixtapes and begins to have a buzz all around the country. He even gets a feature from Sada Baby on a song called Taught Different. So Sada Baby would fly into Louisville to shoot the video, and after the video shoot, as they're getting ready to leave, some guests arrive. Bang! ESTG ends up having surgery, and thankfully he made it. After this, he goes right back to the grind. He would rap about the whole situation on a song called Nathaniel Forrest. But things in Louisville would only get worse after this incident. August 14th, 2020. A man from the West End named Brandon Waddles would be driving with his 3-year-old daughter named Trinity. Brandon Waddles' rap name was The Real Lil B, and he had a buzz in the city. While he and his daughter are driving through a West Side neighborhood called Jacobs. That's when a man named Kevin Lawless from the EST side allegedly pulls up, and bam! The aftermath of this incident is where things get really interesting. A man named Kevin Lawless would go down for it, but at this point, no one knew of any ties to EST. But then Kevin Lawless would get a $300,000 bail? Wait, hold up. That's insane. But it would come out that Kevin Lawless' bail was paid for by an Atlantic Records A&R named Nigel Talley. Now, to be fair, I cannot confirm that this is 100% true, it's just what it says on the news. Either way, this made big news in the hip-hop world and especially for Brandon Waddles' family. But this is when people started putting things together. Why did an A&R in New York post bail for a random guy in Louisville? Well, it turns out that Nigel Talley is or was at some point ESTG's producer. A later article actually states that it was EST, not Nigel Talley, but who knows, I'm just reporting what I see. And according to the internet, this could be when Louisville police began putting 2 and 2 together, but they wouldn't figure everything out for a little while after. October 2nd, 2020. One of ESTG's closest friends named Austin Floyd would be on the West End. He would pull up to a house on 36th Street, and bam! This would be a huge deal in Louisville, but especially for
Why?
Austin was one of his closest friends and somebody that he leaned on. He's even seen in many of ESTG's music videos, and now he's his Instagram profile picture. So this loss would devastate the entire EST side. October 23rd, 2020. A man from the West End named Reginald Johnson would be driving in the East End on Highland
I can
Road.
talk. My voice is just out of there.
A Newburgh man named Warren Freeman would end up going down
it keeps
for
going
it,
in and
but
out
he
my
would later
voice.
be dismissed. So now let's enter 2021, and it's no longer the West End versus Newburgh. That's because EST.
You know that sucks. You know that sucks for me, cause it's like, nigga, I ate the yap fruit, bro. So it's like not talking is actually weird, and I don't even like doing reactions when it's just mainly the whatever the fuck. It's basically just a nigga like me, just You know what I'm saying? Cause like I can't really pause and talk and add my 2 cents like I want to, cause it sound crazy, but I'm just like, it's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I gotta hit that. I gotta get. Yo, I gotta hit that jack, bro. I almost forgot about that shit. I gotta hit that hoe. No bullshit.
Over the city. Now I won't say
forgot.
who or what side because that's not
That's
on
funny.
any official documents. It's just
that just made me
While this
feel better.
happened,
That's
the
funny.
West End decided to get together, put their internal issues aside,
That's funny.
and become one group. The West End now call themselves the Wolf Pack. So in many of ESTG's songs, you hear him talking about wolf traps and dropping wolves. This whole situation gets crazier and crazier by the day. But as this is happening in Louisville, EST is doing huge numbers. He would collaborate with major rappers like Lil Baby, 42 Dugg, and Sada Baby. But while he's having success, everything would come crashing down for his crew. October 26, 2021, the EST takedown. Louisville Task Force had been watching EST ever since August of 2020. Their investigation started when Kevin Lawless was bailed out by EST, and that is when everything started to add up for them. The checks for the bail stated Everyone Shines Together Entertainment. They would also tie together ESTG lyrics where he talks about freeing Kevin Lawless. Well, Louisville police would take down 10 of ESTG's associates. Thankfully, he was left out of it because that would have stopped his career right as he's blowing up. Now let's talk about the West End, because they have an up-and-coming rapper named H Block Duke. He really got on after making an EST diss track where he says all kinds of things that I will not repeat. This is a bold move by H Block Duke because we know how seriously Louisville police take songs and they check anything that they can tie together. Either way, he's gaining fame from it and he can really rap. I mean, he can't rap like ESTG, but he's not terrible either. Overall, this whole situation is wild, and the fact that it was old friends that turned on each other makes it even worse. If that night at the studio never occurred, all of this may have never happened. And to be fair, you can't say that there's a good side and a bad side. Each side has their reasons and motives. I just hope that eventually they can put it all to the side. But sadly, Louisville's 2021 crime statistics do not make me hopeful. They broke their all-time homicide rate this past year, and it's not slowing down in January. And on that note, I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Peace!
Well, damn.